Okay. It is Thursday, November 23rd, 2017, in the lunar cycle Itochkana Koko Toini Itachtasts, when the rivers freeze entirely over. And this is going to be a brief update on the status of one Mandy, the broken-jawed prairie rattlesnake, whom you see here. Now, Mandy is in her 8th week of healing reprieve at my home. I originally picked her up on September 25th on an access road into a park in Lethbridge, Alberta, where I believe that she had an encounter with a motorized vehicle. The reason I believe that is because she showed signs of trauma. Her rattle had been impacted for sure. She'd been brushed on the tail by something, so that she could not make a sound with her rattle, even though she's approximately 4 years old by my take. Her jaw was also hanging wide open and obviously had injury to the tissue, to the soft tissues, to the muscle, and probably to the tendons, because it was hanging. Her lower jaw was hanging in a way that it shouldn't be. And so, given that it was September 25th, I decided to bring her home because my experience with these rattlesnakes tells me that that is very late in the season for them. She was no doubt making her way back to a hibernacula and was going to move quickly into brumation. In fact, I hadn't had rattlesnake calls, I believe, in the previous 6 years, that late in the season, September 25th. So in any case, I brought her to my home because I believed that in order to heal, she needed warmth, and she wasn't going to get that where she was going. That's just an assumption. I'm not a veterinarian. I have no medical training. But I assume that, because the body takes on fever when it's trying to heal itself, that heat is important. And that going into brumation was going to be potentially a death sentence to this snake. So I brought her home. And my treatment for her has really quite literally been to just keep her warm and offer her opportunity for hydration, right? There was even some concern early on with her whether or not she was hydrating, and a couple of hands-on experiences that I had with her trying to test whether she was hydrated or not. At about a month into her healing, she gave signals that I recognized as hunger signals, and I fed her 2 mice back to back. I had tried before that to offer her dead pinky mice in the weeks preceding, but she ignored them all. However, when she did seem hungry and I introduced the live mice, one of them, a kind of a farmed mouse, another one just a wild mouse, she accepted both of them and then hasn't eaten since. Now watch here, what's going to come up in a moment is really the crux of the report for this video. We're going to get a view of Mandy and the condition of her jaw. Watch. Boom. She gives us a nice yawn. as she does often for me in the mornings as I sit beside her to kind of monitor her. I think she knows what's up. Look at this. I'm going to show it in half time here. 50% the speed. You can still see the right side of her jaw. Her lip is not quite meeting correctly. That side's drooping, but both fangs come out. She expands really nice. There's no discoloration that I've noticed. I don't think that she has any infection. I think that she has suffered trauma. I think that she has tissue damage. She still has some swelling, which is why her lip isn't meeting, but I don't think that swelling is indicative of infection. I think she's doing pretty good. There was question before from a previous video of whether or not her both fangs were being deployed, but I don't think there's any question of that now. I think she's doing well. It was suggested to me that I we've gone through a few suggestions and I've been very grateful actually to the many people who've contributed, advice on how to go about treating her. Some of those, lines of advice I've taken. Others I haven't, not because they weren't excellent advice, but just because of kind of the theory that I'm operating under. And one of those instances is the notion that I should put her through a period of brumation. And because she's been now kind of turning her nose up at the offer of further food, maybe it's a good time now to cool her down, let her go through a brumation stint, and then, at least for a month or two, and then warm her up again. I really was close to doing that, and I haven't done it yet. And the reason that I haven't is still that I can see that is that her healing is not, it's not complete. She's still going through her healing. That jaw's not perfectly aligned, but she's doing better. She's using her tongue more. She's extending both fangs. She's opening widely. I believe she's staying hydrated. I don't think she's refusing food out of hunger. I do agree that it's the time her body's slowing down, and brumation is what her, the kind of the mode that she's in. Even as active as she is right here, she would be happy to cool down. However, I think that for her healing, for the healing purposes, staying warm right now is going to be the most beneficial thing. And that's my non-expert opinion, but this is an experiment in motion, I guess. And I think so far it's paying off. I think she's doing better and better week by week. The only unfortunate thing going on with Mandy, as you can probably discern from this video, is that she does not want to be confined in this space. And so she spends a great deal of time moving around the enclosure and testing it for access to openings. And she's pretty intelligent in this, actually. I believe she knows where I come in and out of the enclosure, and so she spends most of her time surveying that side. You can see the physical evidence of this here. So she's not happy being a caged snake, and I can't wait to let her go on her way. But I'm afraid she's in for a bit of a stay yet, until the plants leaf out again.